Thank you.
This isn't fun, is it? Uh-oh.
This is different.
What?
Squeezed back together.
It's your Christmas present from us. We'll sit up front with you.
Nice.
That's what I told Danielle.
Yeah, that is what he told. Merry Christmas for joining in.
Uh-oh.
Wasn't me.
Well, now I can't get this start button.
Oh, good, everybody talk.
It says it's recording, so I'm going to say go ahead.
Is it recording now?
Well, that's what it says.
Okay, well, I call to order the regular council meeting of Wednesday, December 6, 2023. Item number 2, adoption of agenda. A recommendation that the council adopts the agenda as presented, seconded by Councillor Woodall. Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous and carried. Thank you. Item number 3, adoption of minutes. The council adopts the minutes from the regular council meeting held on November 15th, 2023. Can I get a seconder? Councillor Woodall, thank you. Any discussion? I don't think I had anything. I'm trying to open all my stuff. All those in favor? Unanimous and carried. Perfect. All right. Item number 4, introduction of late items is none. Unfinished business and business arising from the minutes, none. Item number 6, new business. 6.1, recommendation.
Recommend the council approves the work program for the moon bank stability work.
A seconder? Councillor Woodall, you're just on it this evening. Councillor Wong.
So on 6.1 here, there is a line item for administration.
Contract administration?
15.
Yes, so on page 15, number 4, I'm just curious where that 29,800 is coming from when there's also the tender preparation and project management. Right? So
This is the fees for Urban Systems to manage the project for everybody.
but we also have the project management, right?
The fees for project management, which just seems kind of like we're paying.
Project management and then the project administration, what's the difference?
I can look into that. Well, it says right here, contract administration. Will provide the contract administration services, so the chair, construction startup meetings, so they'll organize all the meetings with Urban, SNC, Lavalin, and all the other contractors, coordination of quality assurance. They make sure that all the payment certificates are good to go. There's a lot of work in the behind the scenes. And then project management.
It says the same thing. Well, it says complete coordination between the project team, payments, all that.
Is to cover all the time and effort required to complete coordination between. Let me get back to you, but can we still get pre-approval, please?
To council?
Yeah. So this is just a draft right now. These are costs that they've estimated higher than what they probably will be, just so that we're covered. I can clarify what the difference is between contract administration and project administration. But for the purposes of this pre-approval, this is so that they can start lining up contractors for February, March, April, so that the project can get going, so we can get it done before snow flies next year.
Okay. I had a question too, sorry about that, Councillor Fravel. The lagoon, how much is this grant that you're looking into?
The grant that we've applied for is $2.39 million.
Perfect, that's what I was interested in. Okay, I have a couple more questions, but I'll scoop over to Councillor Ravel in case this is the same time.
Pre-approval of work. So this is saying like, begin the process of this, but not allocating budget towards it. What's the scope of pre-approval?
The budget's already been allocated. You guys already did that when we pre-approved the project. Yeah. Or the grant, right?
Yeah.
We know we have to spend this money either way. We have it. Finance knows where the money's coming from. or less.
Hmm.
This is just you saying you're okay with the project managers, who is Urban Systems, starting the process, trying to get the contractors lined up, because contractors go very fast up here.
Very hard to find.
And it's not gonna be, like, I mean, it's gonna take them 3 months just to get all the paperwork in order and all the safety tickets and all their licenses and insurance and everything and WCB and all that stuff.
Trying to be quick here, but pre-approve essentially just means getting everything lined up to do the work. That's what we're
Yes.
agreeing to. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Going through that, the vegetation removal, so I know last year that they were talking about getting, like a boat with a saw blade on it. Have they looked more into doing that to reach the middle of the,
We've already looked into it.
and is it not able to be done, or, because I didn't really
Well,
see
it is,
that.
it's an extra $50,000.
It's an extra 50,000,
They
okay.
have to go in the middle and they don't go with a saw blade, it's like, almost like a machete they're using over the boat.
So they're not looking at doing that for this year then, hey?
No, what they are looking for is numbers 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. And then my other concern was the erosion near cell 3. So they're not expecting any change in that erosion? I was not surprised to see that being one of the top priorities.
That's not top priority. 1, 2, and 3 are the ones that we need to focus on for 2024.
Okay, and that's
Okay.
coming directly from the S&C lab?
This is coming from SNC, this is, and Urban, this is what they've mapped out for the next couple years. The bank stability is the most important, which is the most expensive part, right? The erosion, that is to come into compliance, but it's not a huge, like she says, it's not a huge undertaking, and they figure it'll be very simple.
Yeah, to
But
fix
that's
it?
gonna be 2025 probably,
Okay.
as well as vegetation removal.
Okay, and then my final question, sorry. The amount of the $326,344.20, is that the total just for the 2024 schedule then? Am I reading that wrong?
The fees there?
Yeah,
Under the fees,
under total fees, yeah.
that is just for 2024.
So that's how much we're expecting to spend on this.
That's the professional fees.
Okay, that's
So
not-
that is not the cost of the
That's
job.
what I thought. Wanted to make sure that that was voiced on there. Counselor Wall?
Ms. Stokes, when you say the professional fees, this is just administration, this isn't the actual construction work, is it?
No, this is the planning, this is the preparation, the construction inspection, the environmental and monitoring and fish salvage and there's permits and stuff that they have to get for that, and
Yeah.
so that's all the administrative stuff they have to do.
And then once we get the contractors and stuff, are they going to be bringing forward like an entire project cost, so we have a bit of an idea of the scope for 2024, or?
Well, you already had that.
Yes.
That was the 3.2959
Million.
million for the whole overall project.
That's for the whole project from.
For 2024,
Ah.
that's just the bank stability stuff. That's
Okay.
all of this plus the construction.
Okay,
So
okay.
this is included in that 3.239
3.29
million or whatever.
million,
Yes,
the total.
yes.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Thank you, that's what I was just looking for clarification on.
And I can send anybody any amount of information on this they would like. In fact, if you feel like coming to read one day, I'll give you the whole box.
It really is a lot. It's huge, she showed it to me
Is
once.
it a big box?
Yes, it's a big box.
It's a big box, yeah.
With all the lagoon stuff on it.
Okay, Counselor Rapp.
Are we approving 1 to 9 happening sometime in the future? Or are we approving that plus the cost associated with this draft quote that has been presented to us?
Basically, what I would like you to approve is this quote that they've supplied, and that will cover, for now, the lagoon stability. The flow meter and the monitoring program, those will probably come back, they'll have different budgets,
Okay.
but I doubt they'll be anywhere near what the bank stability.
What this main
Yeah.
first one is, okay. Counselor Wall?
Personally, I understand this needs to be done, and it's, like, we have no choice but
Yeah.
to do it, and it's a huge priority for us. It's our #1 priority. However, I am uncomfortable voting in favor with that's $30,000 extra that appears to be covered underneath another bullet point as well. It's the same, says basically the same thing, right? It's to cover the time and effort to complete coordination between the project team, and then it's to coordinate between the project teams and weekly construction meetings.
Okay. Ms. Stokes?
So there's, one is 19,000 and one's 29,800. So, I mean, I'll go to Urban and ask for a further explanation, but I don't see how it's gonna make much of a difference if you approve the job now. They're gonna do the work either way, and they're either gonna say, no, this is the way it is, and they're gonna give us a better breakdown, because I'll ask for a better breakdown, or they'll take one of the costs away.
If we approve the total number of $326,344.20, I don't feel as though they would go, oh yeah, and then reduce that, right, and get rid of that fee.
Technically, you guys have already approved the budget
Counselor
for
Wall?
that.
Yeah.
And that,
This is just the work.
yeah, that amount's an estimated
It's
amount,
fine if you
so
don't wanna do it, I
it
can go back.
can go
and
up,
forth.
it can go down, right, so, and it's better to have the money there than not have it approved and then they have to come back and go through it, so.
My understanding of this approval is that's approved up to that amount, and so like that's the cap. We're hoping it will obviously go lower.
These are estimated costs, they're not.
Yeah. What we could do, Counselor Wall, is put the motion forward to approve it, but ask for a better explanation of that breakdown. And then if we get that and we're feeling it's not quite making sense, we can always bring that back for conversation. But I would hate to hold off on approving it and then miss out on us not being able to get contractors to get the work completed. But I think you may be able to fix that within the motion that's made. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'll have to think about the motion. I would feel bad spending taxpayer dollars.
Yeah, no.
Paying twice for one thing.
Like,
And it might not be twice for one thing, it just looks like it.
yes,
right?
yeah. And so I totally get where you're coming from, but then there's that double-edged sword of we might miss out on not being able to get this completed in the time that we need it completed. So, as I said, you may be able to work that within the motion. Where that sort of come back. So we'll approve up to that amount, but we'll be coming back with the breakdown of those two areas for review. We could potentially put it in that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Councilor Wall?
Could the motion potentially sound like that we approve the start of the project pending potential readjustment on number 4?
There's no guarantee they'll readjust it, so you have to be
Pending further
breakdown,
Liquidation.
information.
Yeah.
I'll get you guys the information. Do you want it brought to the next council meeting, or do you just want it via email?
I would like it in the next meeting.
Okay. Ms. Stokes, would that language work potentially? Yes? Okay. Councilor Rowell?
From my understanding, to stabilize the bank of the lagoon, the administrative and permitting, environmental monitoring, and other inspections has an estimated cost of $326,000, not including materials, not including
No.
all the other work that has to go into it. And then my additional question would be, is environmental permitting $19,900 or $14,400? Line one, just curious. Just the subtotal there doesn't line up. I know that should have been pointed out last time. I understand it's of a technical nature. But when dealing with
Oh, yes, I see.
thousands of dollars difference.
Yeah, where Urban is quoting 19,000, but the total fee is only 14.
I don't mean to be a
I'll
stickler.
ask for more clarification.
Yeah, so,
So pre-approval with further clarification, maybe?
Yeah.
That's number one, and
on number 1, and then on the 2 project management and administration fees. Okay, who would like to put that motion forward?
Yes, I can.
Okay, for sure, Councilor Wall.
I put the motion on the floor that we pre-approve the
Professional fees.
No.
Yes.
Well,
What you're approving is the professional fees to complete the work. We're not
There's gotta be a way that we can word that. I understand where Counselor Wall is getting a bit, because it's that we're looking for more clarification on. I'm wondering if you could just pre-approve it as the budget presented to us from Urban Systems in the amount of pending further details or further, right? Would that work? If we sort of did it up to a budget item, like amount of?
Could we hold off for 2 weeks?
No, it could take longer than 2 weeks, that's the problem. Counselor Ravel?
There's the holidays too.
In the interim, what's the difference, sorry, pre-approve or approve? From my understanding, it's either black and white, yes or no. Like, we're either saying, yes, go ahead, we're gonna budget for 326,000. I don't understand what the pre-approve means, I apologize.
So normally we would bring this to you in probably February,
Yeah.
but because we are not bringing the budget forward till then, we're asking for pre-approval of this project for Urban and SNC to start. There's no actual work that's gonna be done, it's all administrative work that they have to do right now.
Okay, you know what, I'm gonna put the motion on the floor, actually, Counselor Rawl. I'd like to.
motion.
No,
It
it's
wasn't
fine.
there.
Yeah, it really wasn't there.
It wasn't seconded, so
No.
we don't need for it.
I would like to put the motion on the floor to pre-approve the estimated budget amount of $326,344.20 to Urban Systems and SNC Lavalin, pending a further cost breakdown under items 1, 4, and 6, please.
I'll second that.
That's seconded by Councilor Whittle.
Could I make a friendly amendment?
No.
It's not a thing.
Can we go instead of pending, can we go subject to?
No.
So,
Instead of pending a further cost breakdown, because they might just not do it. But if we say subject to, then they have to.
We've already pre-approved all of this. Theoretically, staff's coming back to us to be nice. We approved in the last council, before this council even sat, we approved to spend the whole lot on getting it done.
Long time ago.
yeah, so it's sort of, it's like, I think pending.
You just want to know more about what this is.
Yeah, tasks 1, 4, and 6. So, Councilor Rebel.
I'm so sorry. Potentially approving the pre-approval, does that even have teeth? I think we understand the scope
You
of
know
work
what?
is required.
You know what?
Hang on, I need Councilor Rebel just to finish his sentence.
Well, essentially, it's the scope of work is required. This is a necessity. We understand that. We're willing to work towards this. It's just the details need to be more fine-tuned. Is what we're getting at.
I make a motion to table this. No, I would like you guys to make a motion to table this till the 20th.
I would hate to wait and then lose.
No.
That's a decision of council, and so if they decide to table it, so why don't we vote on the motion on the floor? And then if the motion is discarded, then we will make a motion to table. Okay? All right, so, all those in favor of the motion that I presented on the floor? Okay, all those opposed? Would you like the opposed noted?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay. Alrighty, okay, 6.2 recommendation.
The council receives the report on the SAIP for information and or discussion.
That's the seniors aging in place.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But that's what it says on the.
I know. Seconded
This is the state.
by Councilor Johnson, thank you very much. Awesome, yes, I did have a question about this. So, I must say, I was surprised by the cost of this program, like when we'd agreed to subsidize up to the 30,000. I guess I personally did not realize it was at $10,000 a month, so the 30,000 only covers us for 3 months. It's definitely difficult to pay such a large amount when we are getting complaints. How many complaints have we received regarding the program?
We haven't received any complaints. We've received a concern.
A concern, okay, but it's not
There's been no
technically.
complaints.
Oh, okay, that was the clarification I was looking for. Councilor Whittle?
Yeah, so just out of curiosity, since we're coming into budgeting season for this program, if we go forward with it, this money comes out of our operational budget. Okay. And then the other thing is Is there grant eligibility to look into the fund with some grants to subsidize this? Because I know the regional district was just looking at that for areas, area D and I think E. Can't remember offhand, but they were looking into that as well.
We were awarded a grant, were we not?
That's not for this. Okay. We have a grant in New Horizons Seniors Grant, but we're still waiting to hear. We won't hear till February on that one. The other one is in regards to the OCP.
So we're potentially looking, if we go forward this, we're looking at essentially, for argument's sake, we'll say just shy of 100,000 a year to run this program.
Yes, Ms.
I have received a call from Dawson Creek Society for Living. She has given me a few ideas on how to reduce the costs. One way to reduce the costs is instead of having 2 cleaners go in for 2 hours, unlimited times a month, you could limit it to maybe 2 times a month they go. They only get to apply for 2 times that somebody goes to clean the house. Or you could reduce it to the service where it's just 1 person that goes in to clean the place for 1 hour a day or something like that. That's one way. The other way she suggested was instead of offering 5 meals a week, put it down to 3 meals a week. And for snow clearing, she says don't let it be unlimited, just limit it to maybe twice a month. Or those are just options that she threw out there for cost saving tips.
Councilor Whittle?
Would staff be able to look at the recommendations that were made by them, and for when we look at doing this for the budget, come back with some suggestions for us, or some breakdowns for us? Because this is a great program, I'd like to see it in the community, but at the same time, 100,000 a year we can't do. So it'd be nice to look at some options, because the whole point of this program isn't to subsidize for people, it's to help them out, right? Like, and it's not supposed to be a full-on subsidize, it's supposed to be there to help people out that need the program, and I would hate to see the program go away. So it would be something to maybe look at a bit of a reduced service, and look at something that we can make it a little more sustainable.
Yes, Phil?
My suggestion is we run a survey.
To get 6 more people.
Not to get more people, to find out what people think of it.
Did we get more than 6 last time?
For this?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It's the most people we've ever had. I think we had 45 or 50 returns.
No.
Yeah.
Because most things we put out, we get like 6 returns.
No.
So.
We really need to find out if this is something that the public wants. I've heard rumblings from people, but nobody has actually called us or come in to complain to us or tell us they're unhappy with something. The only person that has come forward is this person that submitted this letter, and she was kind enough to bring you each a meal to take home with you to try. They're frozen in the freezer if you'd like to take them with you.
Oh, okay.
You can each take one.
That's
She
very
was,
lovely.
as you can notice, there's some of her comments were that, a stir fry is not supposed to be 3 separate. Stir fry is usually, all mixed up together. The idea is it's supposed to come prepared for the seniors.
Well, then you don't have to prepare it, yeah.
So she did outline her concerns, and this person also brought forward some other options for meals for us. But I think we need to find out from the public if this is really something that they want, because I've heard comments both ways. It's good, it's bad, I think we need more information from the public.
Ms. Stokes, would you like a motion on the floor to send out a survey?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I will put the motion on the floor that staff send out a program review survey to those that are taking part in the Seniors Aging in Place program, and bring the survey back to council once it is complete. Should we be thinking running it for?
I was thinking of sending it out before Christmas and having returns by
The new year?
mid-January.
Mid-January, okay. All right, can I get a second?
Second.
Councilor Johnston, thank you. Discussion on the survey? Okay, all those in favor? Oh, unanimous, is that unanimous?
I'm in favor.
Okay, would you like to make a comment or ask a
I
question?
was just gonna ask on the survey, is there then probably be much like the last one that went out, where there's a suggestion, where there's a suggestion box on it, so if people have suggestions on how to better the program or streamline it, they can.
Perfect. Alrighty.
We're thinking of you, Ray, in a couple of years.
We're just getting you ready, you know.
How old do I gotta be signed?
65.
65. All right, 6.3 recommendation.
The council receives a letter from the auditors for information.
I get a seconder? Councillor Whittle, thank you. Can I make a note on this? Not really. I met with them and everything looked good. Same as on there, everything was good. There was nothing that came up. There were no concerns identified. And they're quite happy with how everything's going. So, yeah. Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous and carried, thank you. Okay, now correspondence, now we go through this every time, I'm looking for some clarification.
Start at number 1.
I do have a few I want to talk on, so is it easier, Ms. Stokes, if we just accept everything as information and then we talk on that, or we go line by line?
Are you planning to make motions on any of these?
No, they're all just questions. Oh, no, except for 7.2.
I was going to say second.
Okay, all right, let's just,
Okay, can we start at the top and
Yeah.
let's just work, if you get to one that you just wanna receive for info, say, we're receiving it just for info,
okay.
okay? And that'll just make it easier for us.
Okay, 7.1 recommendation. Somebody would like to read that?
That council receives the BC Rural Health Network correspondence as information.
Seconder, Councillor Wall, my voice cracked. Councillor Rabble, this is you, right?
What? No. Self Peace Health Services Society is the portfolio.
This is me? I always get those two mixed up.
I wish them the best of luck as they've, incorporated and whatnot, and then they're working towards this. This is great stuff. However, I wish to redact some of it from essentially page 29 to 38. I'd like just redact it simply because it may contain information, personal information.
I'm not sure how we could do that, but it does have personal information on there that I don't think.
I'm just gonna remove it from the agenda.
It's just
I just need the motion, and then I'll
Yeah.
take it down.
So you're gonna put that motion out?
I'll just keep this
Councillor
part of the attachment out. This part will still be there,
Okay.
not there.
Can I do that as a motion implying discussion?
Well, you can make a motion to remove it from the agenda. Once it's seconded, it's up for discussion.
Okay. I make a motion to redact from the correspondence and information from 7.1 in the agenda pages 29 to 38 the summary of T3010 return for BC Rural Health Network.
Okay, I hear a seconder. Councillor Wall, thank you. Now it's on the floor for discussion. If you'd like to. Yeah. Councillor Wall.
As there is people's personal information in there, I don't think it's appropriate to have that available to the public. I know if it was my personal health care information there, I would be very happy. Or addresses or things like that that are confidential.
Okay. All right. All those in favor of removing this from the agenda?
No, just the pages, just the latter half of it.
Oh, okay, you just want to have those, yes.
Yeah.
All those in favor of removing those pages from the agenda?
That have
I
the
got it.
confidential information.
You totally have it. Can we just vote?
There we go.
Unanimous, thank you.
Don't
Okay.
dwell on it, then people will.
Yeah, that's right. Just be shh.
Okay, cool.
Perfect. 7.2 recommendation, that council received the letter regarding Bill 45 for information. Can
I am.
Seconded by Councilor Wall, thank you. I would like to support this letter that they're asking us for. Hang on, I gotta open this because I'm multitasking over here. I do find that the province is continually trying to push things off onto municipalities of giving us the tools or the resources to deal with these issues. And I feel that it would be in the best interest of this council to support Mr. Ashton in fighting against this change. my recommendation. Councillor Wall.
I agree with your recommendation. I think if they want us to spend our money helping with their jurisdiction, I think they should pay for it.
Yeah.
We pay PST, we pay income tax, and that's where the money should be coming from, not from local property taxes yet.
So, I make the motion that staff draft a letter of support to Mr. Ashton, regarding Bill 45. And, yeah, can I get a second on that? Seconded by Councillor Johnston.
Question?
Yes.
It would be a letter of support in the opposition to Bill 45, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yeah, sorry. You're totally right, I did say that a little bit jumbled. In the opposition of Bill 45.
Send the guy a letter. We don't support it.
Well, you're sending a letter saying we support the bill, right?
Yeah.
No, that's not what we want.
That's exactly the opposite, yes. And that was seconded by Councillor Johnston, yes, thank you. Any other discussion regarding Bill 45? Okay, all those in favor? Unanimous and carried, thank you. Did that make sense, Ms. Stokes? I felt like I was a jumble there for Matt.
Do we all agree that we don't support it?
Right?
Yeah.
So we're writing a letter.
Okay, recommendation 7.3.
That council receives report from the DCRCP for information.
Okay, seconded. Councillor Johnston, thank you. Any discussion?
As per my comments last time about how they were presenting the information, I'm happy to see that it's now presented in a more legible manner where you can see the increases.
Okay. All those in favor? Unanimous and carried. Item 7.4, recommendation.
Recommend that council receives the policy update note on homes for people action plan, building small scale, multi-unit housing as information.
Seconder, Councillor Wall, thank you. Any discussion on this topic? I knew you were going to want to. Councillor Wall.
These are the two I wanted to talk on. Whatever, but yeah.
Sandy's like, disregard that comment.
I want it. No. So basically, what this letter is showing is that the province is attempting to remove single-family zoning across the province to reduce housing costs. Now, even though we are in a rural area, I do find it important for us to think about reducing housing costs. Cost of living is going up. We are still a very affordable place to live. However, that doesn't mean it will be like that forever. And everything we can do to keep costs down and looking forward into our zoning that we're going to be doing. I think this letter is vital to have in keeping that in our thoughts anyways, about what the province's direction is going and what they're trying to get other municipalities to do. And I think we are in a situation where we're already looking into zoning, where we could be kind of the leader of the pack. We're a small enough municipality, we're already doing this work. We could be a trailblazer when it comes to what they're looking for.
Ms. Stokes has her little finger up. Yes, Ms. Stokes?
Councillor Wall, I hate to burst your bubble, but this applies to municipalities that are 5,000 people and above.
That happens to us every time.
We could be a trailblazer for villages of under 5,000 people.
Of less than 5,000 people.
I have attended a few webinars on this already, and it is more directed at heavily populated areas like Vancouver, Victoria, Kamloops, Kelowna, and it is going to target areas that are more on transit routes, especially in Vancouver.
We're gonna get one of those.
And I am sorry to say, but they are targeting right now, they are targeting areas in BC that are 5,000 and more. Not that I won't keep listening to this, but as far as our zoning bylaw, it doesn't pertain to our zoning bylaw because we are too small.
But it could. We could change it to follow their
Yes,
guidelines.
you can do it, however you like, as council.
Does Councillor Whittle?
I don't know, I could see if they're gonna go through and they're gonna start, limiting single-family dwellings. And, a community like Pooskoopi who has ample land and ample property, you can see some of those people actually migrating to the community because they want their space and they don't want to be living on top of their neighbors.
Counselor, you see how I automatically look over at you now? It's just, I just,
Sorry.
You know, Mike, you've trained me. You breathe, and I go, oh.
Sorry, that's terrible. I'll keep it brief then. Happy middle, if we're not forced to comply with this regulation that's intended for a 1 million person city, we can have
5,000 person
we can
town.
have our own approach to it, where we consider gentle density that isn't so intrusive and, you know, large packed, but invites have availability for developers if they wish to do a secondary suite and whatnot, which I understand is already in the bylaw and whatnot. But it's essentially assisting with the process, not slamming 6 or 12 units on a single thing, but leaving room for that medium density apartment if needed, not stuffing it completely. So we can find a healthy balance here. Gentle density will help with, you know, our revenue.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Stokes, but I believe it's already in our bylaws to allow for that. For our zoning, starting to allow for,
In R2, not R1,
right, so. Yeah, there's always amendments if a developer wants to come in.
which is costly though.
Well, right now our zoning bylaw is sitting on the shelf because we're waiting to finish the OCP and the strat plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's still sitting there.
And by the time we actually get to our zoning bylaws,
It'll
it'll
be
be time
another-
to redo it.
It'll be another election. At the rate
It's
in
been
which.
in the works for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So, yes, anything's possible.
Okay, Counselor.
I do really like what's in this letter though, and I think we should send a letter of support and maybe say, hey, what about smaller municipalities if it's not designed for that? Because what's wrong with letting somebody put a granny suite in their backyard or let their sister live in their basement or whatever? Like, that shouldn't be illegal in an R1 zone, which it is here in Coos-Coopy. So to me, it just makes sense. Let people do what they want on their property, and if that's
Within reason.
within reason.
I was like, you are opening a whole can
that's a
of
big
worms right there.
No. Within reason, like I don't see a problem. Most houses in Coos have lanes behind them. You know, parking typically isn't an issue.
What is the name of the minister who handles housing? Hang on, I'm about to Google it. You know, it's funny, I was just looking up all the names of all the BC ministers this week.
You're getting good memorized time for
Oh,
next
I
election.
need to, I'm gonna just get it memorized and then be like, never mind. Cause what you could do, Counselor Wall, is if you're interested, you could write, you could have staff write a letter on behalf of mayor and council to the Minister of Housing and all that, asking for him to look into more options for smaller communities.
What the recommendations might be.
Yeah.
Okay. I will make that motion then.
Hang on, let me find the person. What is their, to look for the name of the person?
I'll say to the minister responsible.
Does that work?
Minister of Housing.
Or just like,
Of housing.
yeah. Okay, so if you'd like to make that motion, or Councilor Wong?
What is the letter going to say? Because this is an update, so what exactly are you wanting to say?
It'll be my motion. I make the motion that the village of Coos-Coopy, we direct staff to have the village of Coos-Coopy write a letter to the minister responsible for sending this letter, that we ask what they would like to see in municipalities under 5,000 people and how we may be able to lead the way on gentle density in rural areas.
Do you know that, Ms. Stokes?
No, we're gonna listen to it later.
Okay, it's the Honorable Ravi
Alone.
Calone. I was afraid to pronounce that. Yes, okay.
Basically let them know that we're thinking about it and what would be appropriate for us to do. Because it doesn't seem like most of these things apply.
Councilor Rattle?
Long and short, what's their policy suggestions for under 5,000 regarding gentle density and housing alternatives?
I think really they don't have any, right? And so you're just asking them to think about it. Like that's what you're
Think about it and get back to us, please.
like, honestly, you're asking it to be included in their wheelhouse potentially, because right now we're not.
Yeah.
Right? And so your letter is basically just saying like, hey, don't forget about us. We would also like to take part in this, but none of these initiatives, we don't meet the population scope. And so, you know, we would like for smaller municipalities to be heard. Like, I would sort of attack it from that perspective, rather than asking for his ideas. I think it'd be much easier to present it on the argument of, hey, we're still here too, and we would like the opportunity to take part in these
Yeah.
initiatives as well. Sort of like a small municipalities count kind of a deal.
Yeah.
On your soapbox. Yes.
Sure.
So is that sort of what you were looking for?
Sure.
Does sure work, Ms. Stokes?
Yes.
Sure. Sure. Perfect. May I get a seconder on that motion for the letter? Councilor Rebel, thank you. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Say why not? All those opposed?
You said sure.
There you go. Okay, would you like the opposed noted?
No.
Would you like your opposed noted? There you go. Okay, where were we? 7.5. The council receives the report from the animal control bylaw officer for information. Can I get a seconder? Councilor Johnson, thank you. I was like, nobody, you guys are killing me. I actually have a question. Update looks good. I was just wanting to know about that burned vehicle. Has it been moved?
That's the third thing down on your list.
It will be removed, it was either removed today or it's being removed tomorrow.
There was no definite third down from the list. Give me the definite, show me. The village vehicle
Close the
tow.
RCMP, it's RCMP issue now.
Well, either way, it's
No, that's a different
That's a
one.
different vehicle.
Oh, it's a different one. Vehicles on the water
She's
tower?
talking about the burnt vehicle at the bottom
At
of
the
the road.
bottom of the water
I mean,
tower.
when it's outside of our municipality, if it's in the regional.
Well, it's on the edge.
That's right.
Well, then
and-
don't push it off into the regional district's problem, then.
So, it would cost more time and money for us to figure out exactly whose it is. So we made the command decision today to have it removed before the holidays, so it's not there as a hazard.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Stop being a pain. Okay, does anybody have any other questions? All those in favor? Unanimous. I was like, you're honestly gonna say no, just to pass.
Thank you for the bigger text.
Oh, yeah, right?
Just saying, there's a couple other abandoned vehicles right on the edge of town.
Mm.
Okay. I put the motion on the floor, the council receives the 7.6 and 7.7 for information.
Council,
I believe I have to do this.
yeah.
7.7, Mayor Beach.
Mm-hmm.
I did not receive unanimous, consent to have them come in as a delegation, so do you not want to bring this up?
Well, I do, but he just received it, so I would like to talk about 7.7, yeah.
Hey, I rescind my motion, I
It's still
would
a
like-
discussion.
Yeah, we can still just, yeah, whatever. I rescind my motion, I put the motion on the floor, the council receives 7.6 for information.
Seconder. Councilor Rabbit, thank you. Discussion. All those in favor? Unanimous. 7.7, nice try, Councilor Moore. The council receives the email from Billy.
Awesome.
Is it Aston?
Awesome.
Austin, thank you. Regarding Extreme Mud Fest for information. Can I get a seconder? Councilor Johnson, I keep thinking, Ms. McNair, that you're seconding everything, and I'm just like, girl, you are on it today. Okay, I went onto their website, and I did some like looking and stuff, and it is very expensive, and I looked at tourism grants, and I was combing around the internet for like different things that we could try to find, because we could use it as a tourism thing. I know it's $65,000, we absolutely do not have the money in the budget. But I would still like to pick their brains, because obviously there's ticket sales, or they have to be making money off of this thing somehow. And so if there's a way that we could collaborate where, hey, maybe we could get a grant, or they could apply for grants through their whatever that could help subsidize doing it here, a conversation never hurts.
Let's have fun.
Huh?
Let's have fun. Let's do something. Life is for the living.
It's $65,000. So we can't have too much fun. But we can talk about potentially having fun.
Ah.
We potentially just 15 or 20 minutes ago approved almost $40,000 we didn't know what it was for.
What's for the lagoon? That's.
For the lagoon, okay? Yeah, so anyway, I would really like them to come out and just pick their brain. And Ms. McNair, I know it's not in the budget, and I know we don't have the money for it, and I know that we won't be able to spend the money, but I'd like to hear what he has to say. You know, he's, She.
It's a she,
Oh.
just so you know.
I even have a friend that's named Billy. Like, I'm just like throwing this, a poor girl. I'd love to hear what she has to say. It sounds really cool, and I figure a conversation's always good. So, I'd like to put the motion on the floor that staff reach out to Billy. Please say her last name. Austin, thank you. To come in and kind of present to staff. Can I get a seconder? Councilor Wall, thank you.
Oh.
He beat you to it by the way, in the middle of
Staff
second.
first and council second.
Staff and council, you said staff.
Oh, sorry, staff and council, thank you. I don't know.
A Zoom
He's asking
call.
for a delegation.
I just want them
I've
to.
got invited as a delegation, that's all I need.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Seconded by Councilor Wall. Any discussion on that? Councilor Wall.
I would also like for when staff reaches out to possibly ask them if they've done some canvassing with some of the oil companies around that might be interested in sponsoring.
We'll see in that time, want them to come out. We can ask them.
Ask them that at the delegation.
That's right.
You can ask for all that.
We can. That's why I kind of want them to come out.
Okay.
Anybody else have a question? All those in favor? Unanimously carried. Look, I can get off my soapbox now.
I tried.
Okay. All right. Was there anything else I want to talk about? Nope.
See if who yes, it wants to be a sponsor, because they're the ones that will benefit from that.
Yeah. Okay, bylaws, 8.1 recommendation.
Recommend the council gives the fourth reading and adopts the Village of Pooskookie Public Notice Bylaw 1051/2023.
Seconder, Councilor Woodall, thank you. Discussion. Councilor Rabble.
How about a quick one? No, seriously, I'll be quick. Okay, how about this? Notice social media has a link to the village's website where the notice is. That's what other municipalities have done. I've looked at this, I've actually done some research on this. Fine, throw it on, like, you can have saying, we're doing this, here's the link to the notice, and directing them to the village's website. That's my suggestion. That's my suggested amendment.
Okay, Councilor.
This still only applies in one place.
Councilor Woodall.
Just something for staff, and I'm sure you guys are aware of it. There is programs out there for when you push the public notice that it does it. It's the same, keeps your branding the same across all platforms. It's, I can't remember the name of it offhand. But what it is it organizes your message, so it's the same as Twitter, the same as Facebook.
Is it Duo Day?
Yeah, something like that. I'd have to check.
Licensing.
But Community Services with the Peace River Regional District uses it for putting out their public notices on all their social media, and it puts everything in one spot. I don't know, I've never actually used it. I just know from their administrator that it's quite helpful for keeping everything together and all this.
Do you know who's in charge of it over there?
Jenna Shaw is the for Community Services who deals with it over there. She's the administrator for the Community Services Department.
Councilor Rabble.
I propose an amendment to application 2B that instead of posting the public notice in the village's official social media platform, that it's posting a link to the village website's webpage notice on social media platforms.
Can you repeat
So
that?
instead of
Yeah, that got
putting it
very
on social
confusing.
media, you
It's a
put a
link
link
to the website.
It still counts as one
One.
publication.
That's why the
I
village
need
voice.
2.
Yes, so the webpage and the village voice. But that is simply what I'm suggesting. That's what I've seen other municipalities do in their bylaw, because I've looked into some of the other bylaws that have been recently proposed and adopted.
I'll second
I've
that.
put the amendment, so.
Okay, so, Ms. Stokes, let me understand this. So if we were to put the link to the webpage, that's only saying 1, and the Village Voice doesn't count as 1, does it?
Yes, it does.
It does. So then that would still be 2.
And then the office door is 3.
But that's the standard.
This is, yeah. Does that count as two? Well, there needs to be firm clarification, because if we're about to vote on something that could potentially not count as two, then we're gonna go right back to the beginning.
The reason why I'm proposing this amendment is simply because I don't want to inhibit staff's ability to publish this, but I also want to not compromise the integrity that I believe
Yeah.
that social media should not be a place for notices of public import.
So let's just make sure before we vote, because dependent, like, even I need to find out more and make sure that that's not going to affect the bylaw or make it more difficult for staff before even I can vote on it, right? So that's that's why I need clarification, Ms. Stokes.
My question is, what municipalities have you looked at? Because
Okay, Councillor Will?
So if we vote on this amendment, and we vote in favor of this amendment, does this have to come back for 3 more readings afterwards? And we basically just start this process all over again? Because we've amended it?
We do 1, 2, 3, and then 4th would be the January meeting.
Well, it still has to come back, so yeah. And when does this have to be in place for legislation?
2 months ago?
So we're already out of compliance, so another 3 weeks isn't gonna make a difference?
It's not gonna make a difference right now because we don't have any notices that are going out.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not urgent.
Nobody do anything.
Hey, we're going to Mexico and I'm acting there, so we're having a party.
Or you guys hate it and you guys do it. It's up to you. I'm just making an amendment.
So I'm just wondering if that's something that could be captured, if it doesn't need to be in the bylaw, but it could be captured in the policy. On how it's,
No,
It's a bylaw.
it's a bylaw, it's not.
there's a policy that goes with.
I think what Councillor Rabble was saying does make sense, because social media comes and goes, and it's a lot of misinformation, and people make things look like things when they're not. Our website, we definitely have control over, right? And social media somebody could construe that it includes our YouTube and says, well, the YouTube's a public notice, right? That's,
Mm-hmm.
and if other municipalities are doing it, and we need to actually
Well,
question.
I took this from other municipalities, so I need to go look at this.
But we need
I
to.
got this from other municipalities in our region.
Councillor Will?
Would you like this to be tabled
Yeah.
for the next meeting?
Sure.
I'll make a motion that we
Hang on, we
table.
already have a motion we need to vote on.
My amendment.
Yeah.
I seconded it.
Yeah, so, we need to vote on that motion first, and then you may table if you like. So, I'm gonna move to the vote on Councillor Rabble's amendment. If there's no other discussion. Okay, all those in favor of the amendment? All those opposed? Okay? the
And all
motion is defeated.
opposed, noted pending further information. Is what I'm opposed
Yeah.
to. And then I'll make the motion that we table 8.1 until the next meeting when staff can bring back more information.
Seconded by Councillor Johnston. Any discussion regarding the tabling? All those,
I'm not opposed to your amendment, I just
No.
don't know.
yeah, please just gotta get some
This
clarification.
is new territory, right? We've never not had an actual newspaper publication in our region. We've never had that since, like, what, the 1800s?
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty bananas. We are in uncharted territory here.
All right, all those in favor? Unanimous and carried. Thank you very much. Okay. Moving on to, item number 9, we go administration report, 9.1 CAO report.
I don't have anything to add.
Ms. Stokes, I did have a question regarding the age-friendly grant. Was that the one for the seniors aging in place?
No. This age-friendly grant is towards the OCP, to go with our OCP and target the seniors. So Urban Systems did the engagement with the seniors, they've done a survey, they've put out some notices. It's for that, it's to see what seniors want in the OCP. What kind of services, what kind of, that's what that one's for. The one for the Seniors Aging in Place program is called the New Horizons Grant.
Yeah.
And that's $25,000 as well, that we applied for, but we will not find out until February 2024. remember that, Saturday night's Christmas party.
Yeah. How's that going? How's the plans? We're gonna be wearing oven mitts some opening
All
days?
secret.
They're all.
This Saturday.
Yes. Yeah, it's this Saturday.
Will you not be there?
I'll make it work.
You told us you would be there. You told Pauline you'd be there.
She's gonna be sad.
Yes, you
Yeah,
did.
you're gonna
Somebody
be-
did.
No, I did.
Oh, well. We have games, we have prizes. Our Public Works Director and our admin have been busy planning and planning and planning. We've tabooed some of their games. We've said, no, we're not playing them. So
What games were those?
we won't go into that.
Those are the games I want. That discussion.
No, you don't want them. The only other thing is you will all see that you have a sheet on your desk for the light up contest, because we were trying to figure out how we were going to get council's votes. So if you guys could, you don't have to fill it in today, you might need to go drive around and look. But could you bring them back to me or bring them to the Christmas party, but we need to have them before Monday.
Okay.
Okay?
I also had another question for you, Ms. Stokes, while it's your shining moment. Each year at Christmas, we normally do something for the staff, and nothing has come up yet this year. The council hasn't thrown anything up. So, last year, we did grocery cards, right, if I remember that?
No,
Did you do anything?
no, that was the fire department. And then
We didn't do anything last year, did we?
Last year, no.
Did we? Do gift
Yeah,
cards?
we did gift cards for staff.
We did,
Last year,
I thought we hadn't done them.
we did $50 grocery cards.
Oh, years are blending together.
I know.
Yeah.
It
No, it was too late last year, we didn't do it.
Okay.
I put the motion on the floor to buy all the staff $50 grocery cards.
You're just jumping the gun, man.
I've already done it, let's do it, something nice.
Well, yeah,
This store
so,
would be more appropriate.
yeah.
Is that? Yeah, you have to go buy them, because I don't have a credit card.
So, yeah, was it 50 or 75 that we did? It was 50. And then it's normally through our discretionary fund that we fund that fund, correct? Do we?
Typically, I think we do a Christmas party, we don't.
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
at council's discretion, we've done it before, we did it with the other councils that.
Yeah, it is something that's been done before.
I made the motion.
Well, nobody seconded it, so shush. I hate to, don't you dare. I hate to throw you.
I'm just asking a question.
I hate to throw you off, but do you happen to know roughly how much money is left in our discretionary fund for 2023? Should be enough for 50? Okay. The wheels are turning. Councilor Ravel.
What's an example of a non-taxable gift that the council could approve for staff? What is that? Like, what would not be a taxable gift that wouldn't give them a plus?
Safety.
What?
Safety boots.
Yes. Everybody gets one hard hat.
$50 safety boots aren't gonna be very safe.
So, you know,
I'm just gonna be flying next door.
No, that's like $150.
So it was $49.99 would be.
And every 3
Yeah.
employers, one.
like a basket or something, chocolates or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever people eat.
I know, where, I think in previous years, we've done a grocery card, right, just to help
No,
supplement.
we've done Visa cards, yeah, not grocery.
Same thing, but yes.
Just a gift card, they can do whatever they want with it after.
Yeah.
Everybody eats.
A basket of random stuff.
Who's gonna go out and buy that? And
I know, it's a
who's
big thing, I've done them before.
Who's gonna put them together?
Yeah, hold a minute,
We've
the
been doing
staff?
Also.
We've been putting all the Christmas stuff together.
At this point, it could even be one random piece of office furniture.
Okay,
A glorious office chair that we raffle off.
for $50.
If you got a really good office,
Sorry, that's good.
if you got like a really nice piece of furniture and raffled it off at the Christmas party,
You're killing me. Don't be
that would be.
Who wants this fancy final? Look at Miss Stokes' face.
You want a chair for your office?
I already have one, thanks.
Well, then, if you win, give it to somebody else.
Counselor Woodall.
Is there
Everybody in this
anything,
office has their chairs that they want.
is there anything for office stuff that's on staff's wish list that they
Yes.
would like? That,
But it's all expensive
Should
stuff.
I go there?
No.
like, how
Yes.
expensive?
Is
are
it
we-
there? Should I go there?
No, stop going there.
Yeah, I wanna hear it.
Nothing over.
I've been wanting a stand-up desk for the last 4 years.
Yeah, I know how much those are. Let's look at something else.
They're those top
Told you.
mounts.
They're only like $300.
They're only like 300
Are you
bucks.
talking the automated ones you push the button and it stands?
No, the one that I lift up and put down.
Oh, because I installed those for some of my customers, and I
Oh,
installed
no.
those ergonomic desks.
I didn't know they were those ones.
Do any other
staff
staff
want stand-up desks?
Nope, nobody else wants one. Just me.
It'd be easier if everyone said yes, and then.
It would be easier if you just finished.
Capital, that'd be a capital
It would
expense.
be easier, Counselor Wall, if you just finished the motion and I'll put it on that. Finish it.
The motion that I haven't written down yet?
Yes, he's gonna actually put it on the floor for the $50 thingy.
I put the motion on the floor again, that we purchase the staff $50 gift cards.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Counselor Woodall.
Okay, I have a hard question to ask.
Yes, Ms. Stokes.
You say staff,
That was gonna be my question.
Public Works and us in here,
As well as the.
but does this include the fire department?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do we have enough money for that?
In
For
the-
sure.
Our volunteers,
Yeah.
matter.
Thank you.
That was gonna be my question.
In the employees of the village are volunteers.
Well, they're
Department.
they're volunteer employees is what they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does everybody drink? Like, they'd have to deal with us.
Well, there's gonna be certain members of the fire department that will not be drinking on Saturday night, and some that will have a contingent that's on call for Saturday night, because of the party, and
So,
Okay.
okay. All those in favor? Unanimous and carried.
well, that was part of,
That was part of your report. Thanks, Ms. Stokes. You're the bestest. There we go. Okay. Did you have anything else for your report you'd like to add, Ms. Stokes?
no.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to action items. I'm just throwing her right for a loop this evening. I don't think I had anything on there. Looks good.
The gift card piece gives like leeway to, not just one thing, like other things, Yeah, like good things.
They can make their own baskets.
Well, I'm saying it's not like you're stuck with one store, right? Anyways, that's done. Sorry.
Anything on, yes, Counselor Whittle?
No, at number 8. What is number 8? Wilderness and mutual compassion.
So, this is when Mayor Beach asked if the money that the fire department made going to fight the wildfires could be allocated to a different line item or put aside in the budget, and technically, no, it cannot be done. It needs to be included in the budget, it needs to be in there. You can't say you're allocating this to this, because then the government's gonna look at it and say, well, if you can put that there, you don't need money for that. So really, the money just goes back into the fire department, into an account, reserves or something like that, and it just sits there until we need it.
Yeah, okay.
You
So
cannot
it
put-
does technically go into a reserve.
Yes, but
that
you
is there.
can't say,
It's
specifically say, take the money that the fire department made in the fighting the wildfires and put it to X.
Yeah, a new truck or a,
Yes.
yes, oh,
So
okay.
there's an account that finance will put it into, and that's where it.
Like a reserve account, okay, thank you. Yes, sir.
I think the spirit of it, though, is saying there's the need for a fund, a legacy fund, to constantly improve and update emergency services in the village of Pooskoopi. I think that's the true spirit of it, though. Saying, hey, if we expand this, if we expand fire, if we expand ambulance, maybe we should have a fund where we do put in money when possible, so that it grows and it stays there and it is only ever used for the improvement of emergency services in the village. I think that's the true spirit of what you're trying to get at, if I'm not misrepresenting.
Yeah, no, yes, Ms. McNair,
Which we currently have, yeah.
Seriously. I apologize.
Yeah, no, you're so excited there for me.
What is it called? Sorry?
It's just a reserve fund.
Protective Services Reserve Fund?
Well, now I feel stupid. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Counselor
So
Fire.
with our asset management now, because the fire trucks are part of that asset management, and those are a very pricey thing to replace. So would that go towards, say, that asset management piece for, say, replacing the fire truck? Because I know when we're sending out a wildfire calls and we're putting, thousands of kilometers on these trucks and more hours on the trucks because we're going out to do these wildfire calls, it shortens the potential lifespan of that equipment. So I'm just curious if for asset management, if that would be accessible for asset management if we had to down the road. Or
Yes. Potentially.
yeah, because that was my only concern with that, because I know when we start sending trucks far distances, it comes with some extra expenses, right? So, all right, cool. No, that's all I want to know about.
Okay, any other questions about action items?
The spelling of Millsap, that'll be in New Year probably,
Yes, sometime in the new year.
next December.
No,
No.
don't plan to go that long. It just hasn't been the top priority, that's all.
No, it's
That's why it's there, so I remember that, and trust me, it's written down in several other places.
You mean, as of like midnight on December 31st, this list doesn't turn into a pumpkin and we start over?
Yeah, the one in January says carried over from 2023.
Oh, yeah, right.
And there's a subsection,
Right.
if I don't get it all done, and no, we won't get all this done, so.
Okay. All right, moving on to capital and special projects. I don't think there's anything in there either. No. Any word on the pavings and culverts? It's not like it snowed.
No.
Or got cold.
Actually, I do have, sorry, I must apologize, I have one thing to update you on.
Oh, no.
So we know what's wrong with the old library.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so the support posts all have to be replaced, they're all rusted out. And there's a ton of moisture down there, vapor barrier needs to be replaced. And then it has to be reinstalled, they have to dry it out, they're gonna spray for mold. And we're looking to have that done, it will not be done before Christmas. Probably looking at January before we can do it, provided we don't get, 10 feet of snow. And if we do get snow, I believe the food bank is still okay just to operate in that field there, but they cannot go any further. That building is, it's not,
Condemned, but it,
didn't want to use that word, it is not condemned, it is just unsafe right now. And for everybody, we'll let the church know that, no, they can't use it.
So just as a CYA for the village, I'm assuming you guys already planned on doing this, with sending an actual on letterhead letter to the food bank and to the church, just notifying them that of the issues and that for the food bank they can only use that area, just to dissolve or help protect the village from liability, so they can't make the
Well,
make the argument that they didn't know.
The church, it has been in writing by email.
Okay.
It's all been back and forth. And as far as the food bank, it's our illustrious mayor that we've been verbalizing with, but I can put it in
Yeah, it'd be nice
writing.
to have something on writing, just as a CYA for both organizations.
I will
because-
give you the food bank email before I leave.
Okay.
Counselor Wall?
On the food bank, I'm under the impression if the building is unsafe, we should be finding an alternative spot for the food bank temporarily before that work is completed.
The posts are not in that area. It's not that area. That's the cement slab there. Right
But
where
if the
they don't
floor
go in,
goes out, then the
but they
building
don't-
will come out.
they don't go into the building. They're in the foyer where there's cement. It's almost like it's a different little part.
Yeah.
They've all been under there looking, there's no support beams under that part. It's solid beams and there's no mold on them, they've looked at them. And we had it inspected. And you guys are the food bank is in there for what, an hour or two?
We're in there for 1 hour on Saturdays.
That's it?
Yeah, other than that, we'll maybe go in for 10 minutes and stock the shelves.
Yeah,
and-
it's not like they can't walk on it, we just don't want a bunch of kids in there and a bunch of residents or people visiting in the building, and then all of a sudden the building goes boom.
And we put tables, in front of the door so people can't go all the way in. They're only allowed between,
They can only get like 3 feet in.
Yes. so it's very controlled, because we can't have them wandering around either, because many of the items in there don't belong to we think they belong to the church. So we put, tables in front, and then people sit at the tables and hand them their food card. So they do not, at any point in time, enter the physical building. They're right on that cement slab the whole time.
I just think steering clear of structurally unsound buildings, so it's not a result.
Councillor Rabel?
I apologize, throat. Anyways, scope of work for this, is it gonna be a large cost? Is it gonna be minimal? Have we budgeted for this? Is it a capital expense? And then,
This is an operational cost.
okay.
This is an operational problem. So technically, that's about all I'm going to tell council right now. I will, the cost is under $20,000, I will
Yes.
tell you that.
So it doesn't make capital.
No. CFO told me if I could get it to 25,000, then it could make capital, but I'm sorry, it's not even near that. So.
So it's not worth tearing it down and replacing it with something.
No.
It's fixable, it's fixable.
A whole new building, are you insane? Hang on, Councillor.
This would be a conversation you take to in-camera.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you a high level.
Hmm.
The rest of it would be an in-camera conversation.
Councillor Whittle, what's up?
You know what? I have some questions, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a motion that we bring the, old library building into an in-camera meeting for further discussion. Due to the.
Right now or at the next
whatever-
meeting?
For the next meeting, not right now.
Yeah.
But for our next meeting, cause I'm sure it's under section something,
Mhm.
sure,
Yes, it's.
section
land.
90-1.
Land, yeah.
Or legal, or whatever.
Just land at this point in time, but yeah.
Because there might be something enclosed we can.
Okay, can I get a seconder on Councillor Whittle's motion? Councillor Wall, thank you very much. So, we will bring it back for in camera. Any discussion, concerns? All those in favor? Unanimous and carried. Thank you very much. Good idea, Councillor Whittle. Okay. Moving on to council calendars. Please make sure over the next week, keep sharing the Christmas house judging link. It is on our Pouce Coupe Facebook page, so please continue to share it amongst residents so we can get lots of votes on it.
People are voting, don't worry.
Are they voting?
Yes.
Good. I was very happy to see that, Mr. Brown put it in his PC, updates he does each week for the chamber.
This week in Dawson Creek.
Yes, he put it in that. I was like, with a link and everything, I was like, oh man. Okay. All right, I got nothing on that. How about January? What are we thinking? Oh, yes, Councilor Will.
When are you out of town?
Oh, that's a rough conversation. I'm supposed to be leaving on the 20th in the evening and then back the 27th.
Alright, so you're not here the 20th, council meeting potentially? Okay.
You are.
I just need to know because I think that's the same day Frank Ross is doing an outdoor.
Oh, yes.
School thing, and my kid doesn't want me there anyway, so.
Okay,
Sure.
if that changes and I end up being here, I will know by early next week or the end of this week.
Okay.
January. Nothing in January.
Well, actually, you do.
Well, I do, I have a lot of meetings in January too, but they're not normally.
I haven't put your LGLA on here.
Oh, yeah, right.
So, I'm gonna be out of commission the last 2 weeks-ish of January.
2
During the
weeks?
day.
Oh, during the day.
During the day, I've gotta go back to school for 2 weeks.
So the 22nd to the 31st, or?
Somewhere, I think maybe the 15th to the 26th, somewhere in there, I gotta double check the dates, but that last.
Well, you're gonna be available for the council meeting, eh?
Possibly.
Okay, let us know.
And then somewhere in January, February, I don't know yet, as soon as I know, I will let you know. My employer wants to fly me down to the Lower Mainland for the staff meeting.
Anybody else for anything for January?
Not yet.
Okay, Ms. Stokes, I have a question. When I attend things like NDIT and rural health and stuff, do you want it on this calendar or no?
I don't necessarily want it on this calendar, but I'd like to know.
Oh, okay, I can do that. I have a very busy January, that's why I was adding that. I'm up to 6 meetings in the first 2 weeks. Yeah. All right, okay, moving on to reports. Councilor Johnston, what you been up to?
Oh, I did the old-fashioned Christmas.
Yes.
I missed the urban system.
I was looking for you with,
I missed it, well, I was.
yeah, kind of.
No, I showed up at the end. I was curious about the sightseeing and stuff. Everybody gets the emails from these guys?
Yeah.
I was just reading through their last update, and it was quite interesting. I was just wondering if I should be bringing those here, or if everybody gets those emails.
I'm gonna be honest, I get them, I don't technically read them.
It's quite interesting, the work they've got.
You don't read them or don't technically read them?
I don't read them, and I feel bad saying that out loud. I just, honestly, they're quite lengthy, and normally,
It was quite interesting.
I'm really busy. It's not that I don't want to, I just never seem to have time. So, you know, if there's something that you read in those meetings that you're thinking, well, golly gee, this would be cool, assume I have not read it and
Okay.
report it.
I'd like to go up there and look, it looks pretty.
Is there a way we could propose a couple of us going? Because that last email, when they were talking about the diversion tunnel, that really piqued my interest. Seeing the river come out of a pipe, oh my gosh, yeah, they're changing our ecosystem around here permanently, right? That's amazing. Sorry, Councilor Johnston.
Hey, I'd like to look at it too, if we can.
Okay.
That's all I had.
Alrighty, don't mind me, I'm trying to send my mayor's report to Ms. Stokes. Councilor Rattle, you're up.
Okay. I attended the library board meeting. Mayor Beach was present. I believe that Mayor Beach has more details pertaining to that meeting. I attended the old-fashioned Christmas, and I attended the village strategic planning session, where both, it was a mix between council and staff, giving information. Yeah. Okay, that's it.
Okay,
Shortest one ever.
I know, oh God,
Trying to keep it precise.
you're so mean. Councilor Wall.
I attended the old-fashioned Christmas. That was really fun. A lot of good people. I apologize about the truck tie-up. We had 2 trucks, and none of them were big trucks. And one of them was very last minute, but
They look lovely.
it was awesome. Attended the strategic planning session here with council and staff, and I met with the Legion, and I don't have anything to report from that at the moment.
Okay. Alrighty, Councilor Whittle.
Yeah, so attended the PRD meeting last week before, and only really 2 things that came up pertaining to Pooscooby is one, the Deputy Fire Chief Scott Friends got reappointed as deputy to the BC Fire Commissioner, and also that as of January, Pooscooby will be playing with full deck cards again at the regional district table. Now opting back in for full planning, so we can vote on more than just what happens in Area D. And other than that,
More reading.
More reading. The agenda that came out yesterday was only 200 pages. Then on top of that, what else? I missed the Whoville or Christmas light up parade.
Old-fashioned Christmas.
Yes, I was sick that night. I was supposed to bring the search and rescue truck down, but I actually ended up sick that night. Attended the strategic planning meeting. And I have my final meeting for the Peace River Regional District as director tomorrow, or no, Friday, up in Fort St. John. So, yeah. That's it.
Alright, now it's me. As I mentioned, I've begun corresponding with the Pooscooby Seniors Board via letters as their meetings take place on Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m. and I'm often working. So I sent out my first letter to them to let them know about some amazing grant opportunities that they have available if they wish to apply for them through our grant writer. So I've attached the letter to this agenda so you guys could just sort of get a look of the correspondence that I'm sending back and forth to them. I have agreed to send them a letter every 3 months, just kind of updating them on what's been going on. On November 16th, I attended the library board meeting check-in and just thanked the library staff and the board for all of their support with the old-fashioned Christmas, as well as what they do at Halloween and other times. And so I've also attached that as well. Some of the happenings within the Pooskoopi Public Library is that they've got lots of different activities planned over the winter months. They're looking at restarting like their Lego club. They have here I'm just going to read the blurb. The Pooskoopi Public Library has many activities planned for the winter and the 2024 budget, such as the Christmas light up, Knit Happens, which is a crocheting group that takes place on Mondays at 6:30. Lego Club, which takes place on Tuesdays after school. Doodlebug Story Time. This takes place Monday mornings from 10 to 11:30. And potentially they are looking at starting a board game family night, as well as families being able to take board games out through the public library and take them home with them. They are also looking for someone to support them starting up a Dungeons and Dragons club, as well as potentially starting a Color Me Calm group, which would basically just be like adult coloring group. You just go, you drink some tea, de-stress. You should all sign up for it. And yeah. And that date is to be determined. They've also looked at starting up drop-in volleyball after Christmas as well during the week, Friday nights is I think what they were thinking. The library is also looking into starting up their Friends of the Library group to help with access to volunteers again. So that was something they had previous to COVID, and sadly COVID happened and they really haven't seen any of those original volunteers since, so they're looking to reach out to them. And they also have 4 new potential board members who applied to sit on the library board. So keep a lookout for their applications coming in. And the board has begun planning and prepping for their 2024 budget. I did let them know about our grant writer, and we talked a little bit about them looking into grants, and if they had any questions, I did pass on our grant writer's information. So then on November 22nd, I met with the staff and did an overall check-in to see how things were going regarding the old-fashioned Christmas. And then on the 24th, I attended the old-fashioned Christmas, and this event was an absolute success because of the hard work and dedication of our staff. And I know I wrote a big thing online thanking all of our staff and our volunteer boards within our community, but I really cannot say a big enough thank you. You guys did a phenomenal job. We had like well over 300 people, I'm pretty sure, come. And every single person I bumped into the entire night was just like, had such a wonderful time, had nothing but great things to say. And really that's because of the hard work and dedication of you guys and our volunteer boards.
And the weather.
And yeah, the weather was phenomenal. It was all working out, so you guys did an amazing job, and I really thank you so much, because at the end of the day, it wasn't us out there setting it up and planning it and getting it all going. It was you guys doing it, and so you guys did a phenomenal job. It was an amazing night. November 25th, I attended the food bank board meeting. So the food bank has now restored their nonprofit status, and they're now officially reaching out for donations amongst the community and the surrounding area. And they also went over their financials for 2022 and so far what they have for 2023. I attended the strategic planning session with Urban Systems, and it was also wonderful to see how in line all of our goals are for the community. I thought that was really, really cool, especially when it came to our lagoon, our infrastructure, parks, paving, culverts, all that kind of stuff. Then on November 30th, I met with the auditor and did an overall check-in, and everything, as I said, looked really good. There were no concerns that came up during the meeting. He did ask about what big projects we have coming up, and I talked to him about the lagoon, of course, and some of our infrastructure updates, such as paving and culverts. And then on December 2nd, I was invited to the Pooskoopi Church Ladies' Tea at the Pooskoopi Community Church. It was a beautiful Christmas tea. I took my mom and we made fancy little Christmas stars, and we had a wonderful time. And I won the door prize, and I didn't have to bribe anybody. It was perfect. No, it was a cool book, actually. So yeah, it was a wonderful time. I had so much fun. I love it when these different community events happen within Poos, and it was nice. It was a full room. Like every table had like 7 people at it. So, and the church, while I get isn't very big, there's probably about 40 of us in there. So that was pretty good. So yeah, so that's what I've been up to. Alrighty. Today mine was long and winded. See? Okay. Councillor Wong?
Something nobody brought up in any of the reports was the town hall happening on December
13th, yes.
At the Mercer Hall.
Yes, there is a town hall happening. I will be going. just to sit and listen. I often find you learn far more from that side of the table than you do the other one, so that's kind of
We'll be there as well.
perfect. We will not all sit in the same row, guys. We can't do this. We've talked about that.
I will be there for work for the first little bit.
Okay.
And then I will switch hats. I'm hoping I can find a Poos Koopy hat, because I have a work hat. And then when I'm done with that, I will put on a Poos Koopy hat. And,
Don't stand at the microphone and speak in your Poos Koopy head, okay?
no, I'll take that off.
Real.
Just for a Santa hat.
What time is it happening at?
Doors open at 6, event starts at 7.
Okay. But there's also a luncheon happening with some of the folks as well in the middle of the day.
Yes, I don't know if that's 11 or noon at the George Dawson.
Gentlemen, you have to be very careful that you're not endorsing anybody during an election during your council.
No, it's a luncheon to speak with the MLA.
Exactly.
During an election time.
Well,
Right.
that's-
Well, it hasn't been called yet, but it's just letting you know.
I would say that it's more focused on the topics being discussed about decriminalization and crime.
If you go, I'd love to hear if there's anything you guys take away from it for our community.
Of course.
Let us know.
I'm not endorsing anybody.
I just have to be,
It's a way to meet your
have to be
representatives.
very careful about that, that's the one thing. All right, so item number 11 is question period. We don't have anybody here, ever. Item number-
No, we do have some.
Sometimes. Item number 12 is in camera. We don't have any in camera, no rise and report, so adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Wonderful. Done, Steve.
I asked you to be quiet, and I was the one that rambled on.
Yeah, you did. I think you said more words than I said this evening.
Is he threatening you? Slink twice.
Okay, so stay anonymous, or
We fill them out independently, then we compare the results
so
afterwards.
Danny and Chris have to drive around, everybody else already knows.
Mine's already filled out.
I just went
Oh.
with the pictures.
I
Yes, so did I.
know my checks.
I've already driven around.
I haven't driven around, I just went by the pictures.
I know I picked Marlene's
We
house.
looked
You
at
know
one
what?
last year, right?
I don't know whose house is whose. so-
Oh, I thought these were already
We
ranked
drove
by
around
what
and
the
looked at the
people.
same houses last year anyway.
This is how we posted them on the internet, this is how they're posted on the door,
Right?
just wanted you
We
guys.
seen them all last year. Some are the same house.
Totally right.
Yeah, I
Some of them are
decorated
the
for
same
Christmas
house.
this year. I got my lasers pointed on my house, so I got my Linky lasers, and then I got a Santa Claus hanging off my roof.
I'm thinking.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's fine. For
I
the-
don't know, anything decorated.
Whatever the last works for you.
What's the
My wife tells me that-
You guys
Which one?
just like
A letter of support.
Which one?
the Vera exam?
Oh, that one,
Yeah, like.
Fire.
put it on my
Oh,
table.
thank you.
okay.
Easiest for you.
I'm not like.
I don't know if these are ours or the fire department or.
Because I don't think anyone would be phoning us.
The GL code 222 fire.
Thank you. I'm gonna have to remember that.
Oh, heads up before everybody leaves. I've asked for a letter of support.
Right next to don't take our lights down. So I said, do you go buy the LED lights so you can change the colors?
I would like your support.
Does that say remove?
Oh, do you know that we haven't turned the video off? So, you know, like, everyone should.
Colleen gonna kill you.
Yes, she is.